He was worse than dead.
Come on, Bones, what's the mystery?
His brain is gone.
Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my channel if this is your first time. If it is your first time, please feel welcome to rummage around the videos and see if there's other things you like. This is a monthly wrap-up, so this is actually my 12th monthly wrap-up because I've been doing it for the whole of 2023 and it's been wonderful to do it. It's a nice addition to the channel, I think, and it's a nice way to think about what's happened over the month on the channel. So I'm first going to talk about the videos I've made. Then I'm going to talk about the reading that I've done in the month. But I will just say that there's been a few milestones this month in December. So the first milestone was I got over 1,000 subscribers, and then now I'm over 1,100, which is fantastic. And also I got monetized, so that was fantastic. So I feel like I've been like promoted to commercial radio or something, or commercial TV after being some sort of obscure independent thing. So that's quite cool. So yeah, thanks for all the support, because obviously you guys have made that happen. So that's happened. And then I had a notification a couple of days ago that I've had 8,000 views, which is awesome. So that's a big deal for me. So not necessarily a massive thing for some booktubers, but it's a big deal for me. So 8,000 views. So thanks a lot for that. So I wanted to start with that because that's pretty cool. So I've had those milestones all in this last month. So that's great. So the videos I've made, the first video I've made in the month was a response to a video that was done by Grix from the Grix Etc. channel, which is a really good channel. It's kind of like a philosophy channel in some ways. And it was basically saying, what is your favourite book? So he asked, what is your favourite book? What ingredients make your favourite book? And I thought it was an interesting thing to think about. So I answered that question about what ingredients make my favourite book, with some references to some favourite books. And then I did a video which was a tribute to Benjamin Zephaniah, who sadly died last month. And I used it to talk about how important social commentators like Benjamin Zephaniah are. So he's obviously a very successful poet and author, but he was an important social commentator. So I wanted to talk about that. So that was a video on Benjamin Zephaniah. And actually, a few days later, I realised that I should have mentioned Jane Goodall as well, because I mentioned a few other people, and I wanted to do a quick video about Jane Goodall, so I did that as well. So that was a few days after that. I did a review of the 3 specials from Doctor Who. So I wasn't going to do it initially, but I thought, no, I want to do it, so I did it. So I do kind of do whatever I want on this channel, and it's not just books, and if it is TV and film, it's usually science fiction. So yeah, I thought it'd be good to talk about the specials for Doctor Who because they were a bit controversial, but I just wanted to put my 2 cents in. So that was also something I did on the channel. I did my video on my top 10 books of 2023. So my top 10 reads of 2023. So that was a lot of fun to do. And I did an announcement video of the Astorathon for 2024. So that's been a big feature of this year for me. But I'm also a co-host for next year as well. So I'll be reading lots of history books next year. And then I did a video which again was a response. But this was like a response to something that happened with one of my students. Where she asked me to do an interview for a project she's doing. So she's doing some research. She's interviewing lots of different people. And it was about religion and my thoughts on religion and my thoughts on how it relates to storytelling and narratives. And I thought it was a really interesting set of questions. So I threw it out onto my channel. And that actually prompted a couple of other people to do response videos to that about their thoughts on religion, which is really cool. So that was a little bit more scary in some ways because it can be a bit of a contentious issue. So yeah, I did a video on that. Then I did a video on some D&D books. So I play D&D, I play role-playing games, and I love D&D. But because there's a website called D&D Beyond, which has got all the stuff on there that you need, and loads of information about the rules, and you can even roll dice on it online, things like that, I just said, did I waste my money buying these really expensive books because of that website? So it was a bit of a fun video about D&D. And then I did the PAXI Awards. So this was End of Year Awards video in memory of PAX. Ollie from Criminology was the first one to do it. And I wanted to do my version. and a couple of other people have done their version as well. So that was really cool. So I did the Paxi Awards. Then I did my plans for 2024, which involved individual authors I wanted to read more, but also the ton of events I'm going to get involved in as well. So there's quite a lot of things I've stacked up for 2024. So that was fun to do. So if you want to look at that, that would be cool. I did another video in response to Grix from Grix etc. because he was saying he was responding to another video, and one of the things he said was he thought books should be free. So I did a video just about how much is a book worth, how much is art worth, how much is music worth, and the fact that ultimately we've been devaluing art and culture for, well, since the internet really, for quite a few years. So I think it's quite an important issue. And then I did my Christmas message. So that was a song. I put out a performance of You Got a Friend in Me, just to say how much I love you guys. So that was my Christmas message. And then I did a review of 2024. So I did the review of the whole channel and some of the changes, some of the events, some of the things I didn't do right, some of the things I did do right, that kind of thing. And now we're into 2024. So very exciting. So there we are. Those are the videos I did. If any of those sound interesting and you haven't seen them, please take a look. And if you thought, oh, actually I did see that and I was going to comment, go and write a comment. That'd be cool. Okay, so what did I read? So it was a bit of a funny month. So there was a big chunk of the month where I couldn't read properly. I was quite restless. I was quite ill. I seem to be getting better now, but I had this horrible cough and I couldn't concentrate, and I was just knackered all the time. So my reading isn't quite as productive, and there's a few there's quite a lot of picture books, like graphic novels and cartoonist books. But first thing I read was this, which is really cool. It's called Very Naughty Boys, and it's the amazing true story of handmade films, and it is about the film company, and it was really interesting. I'm a big Monty Python fan, I'm a big Terry Gilliam fan, and all of those films are connected to handmade films. So it was a really good read. I would recommend this. It's a really interesting read, and it was a lot of fun. So if you're interested in Monty Python, or interested in film companies in general, how they work, if you're interested in George Harrison, then read this book. It's really good. And I like those kind of books. Then for my Winter of Wyndham, I read Chalky, which is really good. It took me a while because of this thing where I couldn't read for very long and stuff like that. But it is really good. And it's a nice addition to the stuff I know about John Wyndham. It's a story about a boy who seems to have an imaginary friend, and his parents are kind of worried about it. Is it an imaginary friend? Is it an alien? You know, that's kind of explored through the book. And then obviously it does come to some conclusion as you read it. But it's really good. Chalky, John Wyndham. That was awesome. That's my Winter of Wyndham event, which lots of people are doing, which is really nice. So thanks, guys, if you are doing that event. And then I read the graphic novel of A Christmas Carol, and this is really nice. This adaptation, I really like it. So it's very faithful to the book. The illustrations are really good, yeah, I thought it was really good. So it's from a series of books that's kind of got original text on the side. It's a company that do these classical comics. I've got a Frankenstein one as well. Yeah, it's really good. So Christmas Carol was really nice to read for Christmas. I love the story. I've always loved the story, and I thought it'd be nice to read that in honour of the Reread December thing, the event about rereading stuff, because one of the prompts was to read something in a different format, and because my reading was so bad through the month. It's good through the year, but through the month, because it was bad through the month, I couldn't do all of the prompts. I thought, well, I'll do that one because there's a Christmas story, and I wanted to read that graphic novel of A Christmas Carol. So that was awesome. Okay, so then I read this is my first reference to Charles Addams for the month. But I read Adams and Evil, which I got for Christmas. So it was one of the last things I read, or last things I finished, because there was something else I was reading at the time, which I haven't mentioned yet. And this is great. This is absolutely brilliant. It's got some of my favourite Charles Addams cartoons in here. It's really good. It was something like his fourth or fifth collection or something, Adams and Evil. That's really good. And I'm going to do another, once I've got my collection complete, which I'm hoping to have it complete before the middle of the year if I can. It's got a few to get, but they're quite rare. But I'd like to do a video just about all those different books he published and in order and all that sort of stuff. So the next thing I read was for the All About Holly event, which is where we're reading the books that Stephen King wrote, which feature Holly. Oh God, what's her surname? Holly. I can't remember her surname. Tipner? No, not Tipner. It's got n at the end. Anyway, Mr. Mercedes is the first one. I really like this book. It was really good. So, yeah, what I'd like to do, once I've read the other two, I'm assuming they're going to be as good. Who knows? But this was really, really good. Really enjoyed it. Everything about it. I loved it. So, again, Stephen King nails it. But when I've read the other two, I want to do a video about the trilogy, I think. Yeah, absolutely awesome. Really good villain. Really good characters with the three main good guys. And it really kind of stepped up once the cat and mouse thing started to rev up. It was really good. So it's like a cat and mouse cop killer plot. Really good, Mr. Mercedes. Definitely recommend it. And then the last thing I read, or the last thing I finished, was this really good collection called The Evolution of the Addams Family. And it's a collection that's been made by somebody else, but it's really good, actually. If you want one book that's got his cartoons in it, this is a good one, because I think people would like the fact that it takes the characters chapter by chapter as well, but it's got loads and loads of his best ones in there, and it's just really nice, because if you get something more like the other one I mentioned, then it's obviously something that was released in 1947, and it's a collection at the time, whereas this is a collection of various different books put together. So yeah, it's really, really good. I would recommend that. The Evolution of the Addams Family. There they are, the Addams Family. Awesome. And actually, just one last comment. There were two books that I were reading through the month, and for some reason, I just didn't finish them. So I should have finished this by now. I've saying this for about 2 months, but I'm still reading this, and I'm not going to put it down. I'm going to keep picking it up and reading it very slowly, but it's really good. But Friday Black is another one that I haven't finished yet. And this one, I've only got a little of the way through, but it is really good. It's very funny. It's very entertaining. And it's by a comedian, David Mitchell, and it's about the kings and queens of England. And I am really enjoying it, but I haven't got very far in it. And I think I'm going to take it quite slowly, because now the Historathon's starting again. I'm going to go right back to prehistory first, and I'll get back to this eventually and do this slowly. So, David Mitchell really is very good. I definitely recommend it. It's very funny, and it's very informative. He's done a lot of research, and he knows his stuff. So there we are. Those are the books I've read, and those are the videos I put up. I really, really appreciate the support for the channel. Did lots of live streams as well through December, so that was really good. And I've got into the swing of that. And you may have seen the announcement that me and Dave have made, Dave and Olive from Book Blaver, that we're going to do a fortnightly show. So every 2 weeks we're going to be doing a live stream. So that's going to be fun. And the first one is on the 11th of January. So, thank you so much. Stay curious, guys. And I'll see you later. Thanks a lot. Bye.
Picture of what it's like to be